Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a Cloudy Sheep and we are playing Fate of the World, where we are very happy to have reached the year 2105, because if you remember well, there was a methane batheric eruption which basically resulted in this big spike of external forcing over here, basically increasing the temperature by a couple of degrees even. So that was really not that nice for us, but we actually managed to hold that off by a massive deployment, which we can now see over here in what's it called? Sulfate aerosol deployment. So in the deployment of agents that cool us down a little bit. These are probably still active everywhere, and I don't want to drop them for now. I think I want to keep them up for at least a turn to be a little bit on the safe side. Because if we are reaching a global warming of more than 3 degrees, we will have lost the game and it will be game over. And we are so close to winning it, just 3 more turns. So yeah, I'd be happy if that didn't happen. So we'll try to avoid that. Until now, we have dealt with 3 countries, Europe, or 2 regions I should say, Europe, North America, India. Let's deal with the other ones to make sure that everything is fine over here. So in China, everything seems to be alright. You don't like that we are using geoengineering, and of course it has a massive implication for our agricultural performance. And for some reason, always China is having troubles fulfilling the energy demand. So we'll have to see a little bit about that. However, you did link up to the solar array, so that is nice to see. You've actually met your emission target, so fantastic news. Just look at China reducing the emissions over the last years. It's actually fantastic to see this drop from starting from the 2060s over the last couple of years, just to a minuscule amount of emissions compared to what they had before. We actually had 0 emissions today, basically because of the artificial trees, so that I very much appreciate. Anyway, any bad news? Well, hydro is at capacity. That's not necessarily great. Less sunshine, yes, of course, and storms. So storms are still a big issue. And if we look at the remaining emissions, I think a lot of them come from agriculture. I mean, these percentages are all a bit misleading because forestry is contributing a large negative amount, and all the other ones are sort of adding up to the remaining or to this amount. So some of them are ridiculously high. Anyway, agriculture, energy, industry. Yeah, so I think let's briefly have a look at the electricity. It's still not completely renewables. There are some other elements in the mix. I think we should. How can you claim that we are at 100%? I don't get that. It does show over here that we are using other elements, specifically oil, gas, and uranium. So I think I at least want to reduce the oil consumption in power. So let's decline coal power. It's not that expensive. And I think we can actually decline gas power as well. Oh, on the other hand, we did, I think, should adapt to storms, because that was a significant issue over there. Biochar, I think we could drop out of for a second over here. Synthetic livestock I don't want to do. That basically means that the industry requires 5 times more energy, and that would be bad because they don't seem to be able to fulfill that right now. We could acquire fusion instead, which wouldn't be too bad. I think we might actually do that. So let's try to acquire fusion over here, and that should be alright. By the way, in India, did we acquire anything? Should we maybe acquire anything? In particular fusion? Maybe the biocrops? I think that wouldn't be a terrible idea. On the other hand, what would we try to reduce? I think the desalination program we definitely have to do. And all of the other ones, to be honest, I think are required. Maybe we can get rid of the aerosols here and only here to acquire first generation fusion. That's going to be alright. Southeast Asia over here then, nanotechnology research, good to see. 4th generation nuclear, I think you're very, very far behind on that. You're fine about the Clethorates ban, which we had to initiate because we really didn't want to use any more of that. Reserves established, less sunshine, yeah, that's not nice, but everything else seems to be alright. So let's have a look at the technology. I think we just want to get photovoltaic cells and then probably into first generation fusion. So let's grab that. We are committing to renewables, so that's nice to see. Anything else in particular we need over here? Don't think so. Everything seems to be somewhat alright. Oh, definitely trees. Yeah, and maybe do coal reduction in the energy generation. So first of all, artificial trees, and then decline coal power, I think would be a very good choice. You are still emitting, but with the artificial trees, at least it will come down, and that's going to be alright and good. Right, let's jump to the Middle East. Important region for us, of course. Geoengineering, Clethorates short-sighted. Must make sure that we are not losing you, because that would be really horrible. Yeah, but everything else seems to be alright. Water stress is, of course, not good. But the fact that you are linking up to the energy sector, I think is very nice. And I would also like to acquire nanotechnology so that we can deploy trees over here. You're committing to renewables, you are doing all sorts of sensible things. We might not need to expand the oil production anymore, although we'll probably have to do that periodically. How are you producing your energy? Coal, gas, oil. Let's try to use less coal as well. I think that's good. Right, China, you're fine. Let's take Russia then. Yes, we are doing this. That's good. Necessary evil, more green outlook. You're now balanced. And you know what, since you have negative emissions, I think we will continue the eco campaign a little bit longer. Although maybe not too long. Yeah, you know what, let's stop it because I think we want to continue to deploy sulfates in some regions, and these really shouldn't be too... I don't think you need the storm mitigation anymore. Yeah, we don't want to be these 3 regions that are too eco-friendly, because otherwise they just simply wouldn't do it. You are 100% committed to renewables, and I think we actually did probably see, yeah, that the electrical car convention did work out. So I think your energy resources should probably go up a little bit over here as cars are being converted. But solar, I think you should have a much higher solar potential, so we might think about synthetic livestock. But we could also do the vegetarian revolution, which I think is always a rather nice shift. Fusion technology, maybe. Just very much maybe. Yeah, maybe synthetic livestock. Let's do this, although I think it will mean that we are using a lot more energy than we're doing now, and that might mean that we are being put a little bit above our capacity. So I'm also going to commit to renewables over here. Transport efficiency I think we can get rid of, so that's fine. Let's do a wildlife conservation in Russia then. North Africa, one of the least developed regions so far. Aerosol engineering, which you don't like because you're communal, but all in all you seem to be fine. Wildfire chance higher than expected. You know, eco-friendly. Because you're considered developed. That's lovely. Sunshine, yes, wildfires. Wildfires of course is not good, neither is water stress. It's actually probably very high water stress. Can we get a view of that? Yeah, 59%. So I think we definitively want to probably acquire desalination plants in the midterm. So let's try to get over here. Also to photovoltaic cells on first generation. No, you know what? Let's do photovoltaic cells first. And turbines as well. And all of the other items I think still are required, so that's fine. Likewise in Southern Africa, everything should be looking somewhat alright. Less sunshine, yeah. No, everything good. Your emissions also coming down, hopefully, very quickly over here. Can we see that? Yeah. Lovely. It's really mostly energy coming down, so love to see that. Also likely due to the committing to renewables to some degree. Your water stress level has always been awfully fine, so I think that's good. Could do vegetarian revolution. Do we want to acquire anything down here? Yeah, probably do super tensiles. Super tensile materials. Oceania, likewise, I think you should be fine. You're short-sighted. All in all, still fine. Wildfires. You have linked up, so that's as well good to see. Lots of more storms, so let's protect you against storms. And that should be hopefully a little bit fine. You have a lot of regulations. Let's do industrial carbon regulations here. It's not necessarily the most important, but still it's fine. Japan. First generation fusion breakthrough. Yeah, that's really nice to see actually. You didn't like the... Yeah, but everything else seems to be fine. And you have artificial trees. Oh, we should really check again whether we are not missing that anywhere. Oh, you're not at 100%. Apparently you're not at 100% energy usage from renewables. And you actually seem to be... Yeah, you are short on a lot of aspects. So let's commit you to renewables. Or do we not want to deploy first generation fusion? I think renewables are important, so let's do this. You're also protecting your soil and all of this, so yeah, I think that's alright. Latin America. Yeah, the energy sector really... In the countries where it's still burning things, it's really an issue. Still need to do this a little bit longer, but you have hooked up, so that's good to see. I think you are seeing an energy shortage as well, but the energy consumption probably went up a lot. Why is that? Why did it go up so dramatically? Did we deploy something stupid? Coal-free industry. It's probably coal-free industry that did this. Alright, it's still alright. We could commit to more renewables. I think that's fine. We should do artificial trees. Anything else? Livestock I definitely don't want to do. We could acquire first generation fusion in Latin America. I mean, why not? Should do something popular though. Anything? Adaptation, higher education program. Let's do water management. I think it's a nice choice. Let's also briefly check whether we are doing artificial trees everywhere. I think we are. Yes, so far we are. South Africa, you probably don't have them. Nope. Neither do you. India, yes you are. No to the Middle East, why not? Do you not have them? No you don't. So okay, that's a good excuse. Everyone else does though, so that's fine. Let's take the turn. Ooh, the temperature's coming down, so that's good to see. But the gas production is peaking, and that is not good. Your emissions are decreasing, everyone else seems to be fine. India in particular has decreased by 14%, so that is extremely interesting. No one really hates us, so let's have a look at what India did over here to achieve this reduction in emissions. It's probably energy, I would hope. Yeah, so actually industry went up, but energy came down somewhat drastically, so that's good to see. Why? I think probably because of the increase in solar. Yeah, you can really see the jump in solar uptake over here, and the way that this is reducing both gas and oil usage. Well, gas by 10%, oil by a little bit more. So yeah, fantastic drive to good technology over here. Every breath you take, yeah, still critical. Water stress, still an issue. Less sunshine, yes. Old nuclear victory on energy waste. Yeah, so I think we might want to deploy first generation fusion here as well, simply to increase the energy production even further, and I think that's going to be important. Other than that, I think we have most of the technologies that we do have available overall, right? Except for biofuels. If we were to acquire that, a little bit more fuel production might not be the worst. Coal-free industry would, I think, also be rather detrimental to our cause. Could decline oil power as well. That would just push up probably gas usage, and we don't have that much gas. So no, I'm happy to try to push both renewables and first generation fusion. I think that's a good choice. And we will not deploy aerosols over here in India because, yeah, we are already, I mean, the global temperature as is at 2.4 degrees. We should actually try to push our parts per million generation over here not too high, so there really shouldn't be too much of a difference between what the temperature should be according to the CO2 and the other types of forcing that we are using. So I think we'll have to be a little bit more careful in terms of what we're doing over here with the forcing. So I think we'll probably want to not deploy sulfate aerosols in quite as many places. I think we did that in about 10 places right now, so I think I think we might do without. I'm not sure whether we should do it without do aerosols entirely, but I think it's an important aspect to not get too much difference. Everything seems to be somewhat fine in Europe. Shift away from meat, so that's fine. You're not even at the risk of drought right now, so I think all in all we don't need this card. I think I would like to use the eco-awareness campaign for a little bit, but that should be it. Do we need more technology? We don't need desalination. First generation fusion might be nice, but then again our electricity consumption down here is 100% renewables, so I'm very happy about that. By the way, I'm not entirely sure what this 9 missing percent over here are. It might actually be biomass. That would be an explanation. Yeah, but all in all the energy consumption here is fine. It's 100% eco. So yeah, really sustainable way now here. Is there anything in terms of water stress level? Barely any. I mean, we could deploy it just to be consistent over here. Astronaut mining, no. Moonbase Alpha. If successful, global literacy goes up and large support. Might be nice. Possibility of no one out there due to the SETI progress. SETI thingy. Refugees treaty, no, I think all in all it does look fairly well in Europe. There's not much we need to do. We could global ban things, but I don't think that's required. Transport investment, no, I think all is fine. Let's do some of the fun things. So let's build a Moonbase Alpha. Let's get the SETI orbital array up and just see whether anyone is out there in our last 2 turns. So that's going to be fun to see. Right, Southeast Asia, one of the regions where we're still not very sustainable. We are still producing a lot of emissions, and they are mostly coming from the energy sector, which is using a large amount of oil, gas and very few renewables. On the other hand, we are trying to commit to renewables. Dangerous deforestation averted. Yeah. Drought is an issue. Oh, you're very far behind on tech as well, aren't you? Well, not that far anymore. First generation fusion. And maybe I want to say decline coal power. Let's drop that because we're not actually using that much other items, and I don't think we should be overdoing it. Water stress is fairly low, so we don't need to deal with that. Anything else? No. I think all in all we seem to be fine over here. Could switch to organic farming. Would use much less gas and oil and water, and yeah, let's do this. I mean, the GDP is not nice, but it's not critical either, so I think it's gonna be fine. And we could actually acquire first generation fusion over here. It's very slow, but that should be alright. Good. China, a region that used to produce a lot of emissions and is not doing so now. So yeah, very hopeful to see China blooming over here. First generation fusion, yeah, aerosols in progress. We should probably get rid of the aerosols. Hydro at capacity, I think we saw that earlier even. Yeah, everything seems to be fine, and you're not undersupplied by anything anymore. So I think probably indeed all your electricity must be coming from renewables. By the way, let's briefly check. Biomass is at 2.3 terawatt hours, which yeah, I think could be about 12%. 1/9, yeah, I think so. Probably the renewables it does for some reason not count biomass in that, and I'm really baffled by why that should be. I mean, the difference over here, yeah, you can see over here, renewables is 16.5, and over here the overall energy resources are 2.1 more. So it might not be biomass, but it's something at the order of magnitude. I'm really not sure what that is. Something is missing over here, and it really baffles me. Right, so we could think about synthetic livestock. It would mean you using a lot more energy, but then again, we apparently do have the energy, so I think that would be fine. Eco-awareness, not something that we need right now. Well, we are pleased already, so that is good to see. And we don't need to commit to nuclear, and I don't think we need to decline oil power anymore. So let's deploy first generation fusion, and let's deploy synthetic livestock, although that really means that we are probably going to use a lot more energy, but I think it might be caught by the first generation fusion, and maybe if we commit to renewables at the same time, even though we don't need to, it might be a good thing. Okay, I don't think we need any sort of adaptation to storms in China because everything seems to be fine anyway, so that's fine. Nothing else really required over here. No, I think it's fine. biochars, I don't think are required. Third generation biofuels, we'll get anyway at some point, but we might as well acquire them. Russia. Now, you are balanced, agricultural resources are undersupplied. I hope we are committing to renewables. Yeah, the gas usage is really dropping down. High crop yields, that's good to see. Oh yeah, natural gas no longer used, so you've just switched over. How does your energy production look like then? It's still mostly renewable, so it's good to see. Yeah, you are able to carry that even with only renewable, so happy to see that. Good for you. But something that probably is not very popular, but I think we need to expand the natural gas production over here. I think you probably do still have some conventional gas, right? Yeah. So let's increase that over here. And down here, you are apparently fine with not using coal anymore. Gas is undersupplied, but you do have the first generation nano technology, so that of course is very good as well. Water stress. Okay, so firstly let's deploy artificial trees. Secondly, let's check your actual water stress level. 40%. Yeah, that's really not great. And your emissions do come from the industry and very little from the why? Because you're using coal in the industry. So we need to get to coal-free industry. All of the other ones I think are still fine. Probably don't need to deploy these guys anymore. Let's get desalination so that we can address the water shortages. Biochars would also be helpful. But I think mostly it will go to the industry anyway, so yeah, that's gonna be alright. Southern Africa. Emissions are dropping, so that's good to see. Everything seems to be fine. There's a little high draw chance. Yeah, but everything else is fine. Let's check technology. Nanotech is something that I do want to get now. Everything else seems to be fine. Yep. Like to see that. We don't need to deploy the aerosols though. Yeah, let's go coal-free industry. I think you are probably switching over to with the electricity anyway. Yeah, there's very little coal in the mix anyway. Just look at this solar potential over here, just jumping and completely pushing out all of the other forms, so very happy to see that. Are we committing to renewables still? Yeah, I think it's fine if we're playing these two cards together right now. Likewise, in Northern Africa, you still need to develop it a little bit, but all in all you should be fine. Water stress is, yeah, still a perpetual issue over here. So, yeah, let's try to get depressurization and drilling, advanced drilling. Really not the technologies that I think we should deploy at this point. Don't need to do this. Biochars might be helpful. Yeah, I think so. And let's do higher education because I think you can still do a little catching up. Oh, you know what? Actual commit to renewables is a very lovely idea over here, because we probably are not still producing everything from technology from renewables. So yeah, good. Latin America, how are you doing? Feeling a little undersupplied in gas, but on the other hand your local transport is 100% efficient, so that's good to see. Storms we should take care of. This we can probably drop. On the other hand, let's get synthetic livestock, renewables as well. Let's adapt to storms. And then that's fine. You are balanced, so... Any technology that we need over here? No, not in particular. So... Higher education? Just so you like us a little bit more? I think that wouldn't be bad. Good. That only leaves Japan. For now, your agricultural and industrial resources are undersupplied. You have a lot of drought. So we could try to adapt to the drought. I think we will keep on deploying the sulfates over here. We will definitely try to protect the soil. No, all of that should be fine then. Do we want to do this? Or do we maybe want to switch over? I think we want to switch over. Wait, what? Yeah, still using coal in the industry? How is that a possibility? Because it's minuscule. Okay, so let's switch over to synthetic feedstocks, and I think that should be a good change over here. Quick rundown whether we are still deploying sulfate aerosols. 1, 2. I think we don't need to do this over here. We are expanding natural gas production, which I think is a good idea. Net retirement, eco-awareness, no. Require anything? Let's do artificial biomes, because why not? Shouldn't deploy aerosols over here. We really shouldn't. And what we might do instead is... I could actually tax you, although we have so much money right now, it's really not that necessary. Energy mix is high, but we are developing first generation feedstocks, so I think everything should be fine over here. Let's do artificial biomes then. Northern Africa, no sulfates. Middle East, no sulfates. Can we maybe increase the gas production over here? I think you should have some, right? You should probably have a lot. No, not emissions, sorry. Conventional gas. Yeah, it's a lot. Coal-free industry, protect, cap and trade. All of these are very important though. Maybe we can get by without deploying artificial trees over here. No, not oil, sorry. Gas production. That should be alright. You're deploying aerosols, which you shouldn't. Let's get you to acquire new technology. Desalination? No. Biotech? No. Eco-awareness? No, I don't think any of that is required. Let's do biochar. So 2 nations are deploying sulfates right now. Did I miscount? Basically North America and Japan. Well, Latin America is, but we don't need to do that over here. Let's do biochars then. Southern India, Southern Africa and India. You're all fine. Oceania, you are. So 3 nations. I think 3 nations are fine. That will probably increase our temperature a little bit, but I hope it's not going to jump over 3 degrees. It's going to be a little bit more balanced between the temperature as it is and how it should be. So, happy to see that. I'm happy to have a good episode that we survived. So next time we'll advance to 2015, and that's going to leave us at 2 rounds in this episode, in this series. And right now I'm kind of hopeful that everything is going to work out. So happy to see that, and hope to see you again next time for what might be the last episode. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.